Hello, and welcome to our tutorials for working with Finesse Gadget Designer. In this tutorial, we'll demonstrate how a data grid can be used to render data in several ways. After completion of this tutorial, you'll be able to use the data grid in your projects and render the data using images, text areas, or buttons. In order to design this application, we go to the designer and we drag a button and a data grid onto the frame. Select the data grid, go to the Advanced tab, and click on the Columns button. From here, we can add the fields that we want to display in the data grid. For this demo, the first field we need is the name. We'll render it as a label and click Add. Now, if you want to add an image for this particular field, we select the activated field, double-click on the field, and go to the Item Properties. As you can see in the Item Properties, there are three values for image source. We can add an image source in any of the three ways. If mapping is selected, we need to map the value which is returned by the object with the image. If the value object, for instance, is true, we'll show the image 4.png. Click Add. If its value is false, however, we'll show the image 5.png. Again, click Add. In case if we're not using the mappings and want to use objects, we can also do that. It maps the image with the object returned. For the path, we need to enter the path to our image, which will be displayed for all of the rows for that particular column. But for this demo, we'll use mapping, so go back to Mapping and click Update. Now, we'll add the third column, which will be Address. But we want to render this field as a text area. In text areas, we can fire an event from here. We need to create a manual event first, so we'll name our event Change Text Event and click on Add. The last field will be Details, and we want to render it as a button. On the click of the button, we want to again fire an event. We'll name this event as Show Details Event and click Add, and then click OK. Now, we'll create the two manual events. Enter the first event, Change Text Event, and click Add. And then enter the second event, Show Details Event. These two are the manual events for our data. For this demo, we've already created a service, getStudentData, which uses a Java class to retrieve the result from the data. So now, on the click of this button, we'll first request a service. So select the button, go to Actions, and on click, we'll request a service. The service is a Java service and uses getStudentData. Click Save. The results will be displayed in the data grid, so the result of the service needs to be filled into the grid. Select the data grid, go to Actions, and select your service event, getStudentData. And we want this to trigger a Fill Data action, which uses the event data, and click Save. Now you can save and publish and see how it appears in the output. When we refresh the page and click the Load Data button, we see we have a first column in which the names are displayed, and a second column which was activated, where the true value is represented by the blue image and the false value is represented by the red image. You can use any image for your data that's being returned by your class. In the Address field, you see we have a text area in which you can enter text data. We haven't added any event capture changes to the address or to trigger on the button click, so let's do that now. Go to the designer, and first we have to design two pop-ups. Toggle the view, go to Pop-up Design, and from the components, drag a frame and name it Address Confirmation. Then, drag a label component and two button components on this pop-up. We'll name one button the Yes button, and the other button will be the No button. For the label, we can enter the question, do you want to save your changes? You can always change the look and feel of your pop-up, giving it a background color or a header color. And you can give a border color as well, and change the border radius. I'm going to go ahead and change the label text color and the alignment as well. Then we can go ahead and save. Now we'll design the second pop-up. So again, drag a frame, and into the frame, drag text inputs. As always, you can copy and paste the text inputs until you have enough. We're going to make 5. And resize them to an equal size by selecting them and editing them all at once. We'll name this frame Student Details and adjust the component ID to match. I'll go ahead and change the background color and customize my window a little. For the first input, we'll name it Name. Adjust the text width and change the color. Next, we have Account Number. The third, we'll customize and name it as Activated Field. The next will be Phone Number. And lastly, Email. Again, we can customize all of the properties of the component, like the alignment and the text color. Now we have 2 pop-ups ready and saved, one for address confirmation and the other for students detail. Select our first pop-up and go to the Actions section. Go to the Manual Events. As the Change Text event is fired, we want to open the pop-up, and then click on Save. Again, select the pop-up, and on the click of the Yes button, you can request a service to capture data. But for the purposes of this demo, we'll make it that a click on Yes simply closes our pop-up. Now, select the second pop-up. Select the Manual Events, and when the Show Detail event is fired, I want to open the pop-up. As we open the pop-up, an event is fired, and with this event we get the event data. So, we'll select the Name field, go to Actions, and select the Manual Event Show Details event. On this trigger, we want to fill the data with the event data, but in this case, we need to mention the filter key. As we know, when the event data is returned, there are various fields which are returned. In order to access the field, we need to enter our row data, and from the row data, I want the field name to be displayed. Then click Save. Similarly, for the next field, when the manual event Show Details is fired, I want to fill the data with the event data. And in this case, it uses rowdata.accountNumber. Then click Save. Do the same for the activated field, and fill data using rowdata.activated. And again for phone number, filling the data using the rowdata.phoneNumber. And finally, select the email field, add the action, giving filter key as rowdata.email, and click Save. Now, we can save the project and publish it to render the changes. When we refresh the output page, we can load the data, and we can see when we add changes into the address field and press Enter, the pop-up appears confirming that I want to save the pages. If I click Yes, we can presume we set it up to save the changes. If I click on Details, we're delivered a pop-up with the details of the particular row that I've clicked. Similarly, if I click on another row, the new row is rendered in the pop-up. This way, we can use a data grid in order to render your data in many different ways. As always, thank you for watching.